It is my great pleasure to present the Honorable Lucy Flores with the National Latino Institute for Reproductive Health Por Salud Award this evening.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, you guys are so incredible. You know what? I know that I'm supposed to talk about myself for a little bit and say all these things, but before I do that, Delia actually deserves a round of applause because those of you who do not have the privilege of knowing Delia, you're doing yourself a disservice. This woman is the epitome of mentorship, of sisterhood, of friendship. This woman will do anything to get good people elected, to bring people up the ranks, to be that mentor, to be the change. And I hope one day, maybe, Delia, that I have the opportunity to present you with an award. She's gotten a gazillion, so, but she needs another one. So thank you. Thank you, Delia. When I decided to talk about my choice to have an abortion, I really had no idea what the outcome would be. I knew what I wanted the outcome to be. I wanted the state of Nevada to address the high teenage pregnancy rates and STD rates amongst our young people in Nevada and actually get comprehensive sex ed done in the state. And stop teaching kids that they shouldn't have sex because we see how well that works. That's not, however, what I got. Instead, for the first 24 hours after I gave what I really thought was innocuous testimony, I got hundreds of messages that ranged from mildly insulting to actually so ludicrous it was kind of entertaining. I mean, being the queen of the temple whores, I actually find oddly satisfying. But it wasn't very funny when my life started to get threatened. It wasn't very entertaining when I was slut-shamed and ridiculed and harassed and threatened. And I'll admit, I asked myself at the time if I had done the right thing. How do I go from surviving and getting through a childhood full of poverty and violence and crime to ending up in the halls of my state capitol wondering if I was going to get shot if I walked out those doors? It was after those first 24 hours, however, that the cavalry rode in. People from not just this country, but all over the world started to send me messages telling me that they were proud of the testimony that I gave and that I inspired them, and sometimes shared incredibly personal stories of perseverance and for the first time feeling like the personal decision that they made for themselves was okay. And that, of course, was incredibly powerful for me. But one of the few people, well, I won't say one of the few, but there in the legislative building, one of the people that really was the glue that kept it together for me is here with me tonight, and her name is Annette Magnus. She's there at my table. She lobbied for Planned Parenthood at the time, and one day she came into my office and she told me words, and Annette, I've never told you this, but she told me words that stay with me to this day, and I will never forget. She said, "I'm so sorry, Lucy, that you're going through this. You should not be going through this. You are our front line. You are our elected that gets things done for us. This is my job. I know how to deal with this. We're used to getting our lives threatened, and we know how to handle this." And it didn't occur to me until later that no one should be used to having their life threatened just because you work in reproductive health and because you advocate for what is our right in this country. And the fact that Annette continues to champion reproductive health and women's rights, along with so many others, is a demonstration that she and you all here tonight and so many poderosas and women and men across this country have a deep commitment to our communities and to our women and to our young people and doing the right thing over and over again despite the harassment and despite the threats sometimes to your personal safety. So Annette, I thank you for being my sister in the struggle. But again, no one should ever feel threatened or intimidated or be harassed or slut-shamed because they spoke out about a personal choice. We cannot, and I'll say it again, we cannot allow this environment of hostility to continue, this fear that is pushed upon us. This is not the status quo that I'm comfortable with, and I know it's not the status quo that you're comfortable with, and it's not the status quo that we will allow. So, I say to anyone who thinks that we are going to back down from this fight, you do not get to tell me what I do with my body. You do not get to tell me about the choices that I make for myself. You do not get to make me feel scared, and you do not get to silence my words. Because we are poderosas, we are guerreras, and I don't know about you, but I've been through worse in my life, and it's going to take more than a few internet trolls to get me to sit down and shut up. So, onward and upward, ladies. And who knows, I might be making an official announcement next week, perhaps. So follow me on Twitter for that information. Thank you. Thank you.